gets a third. Watkins luckily here, what a goal! And they've won it!
As Jensen crosses it, Watkins, 3-1. Brentford have won here. Chance for him to shoot. What a goal! What a goal!
Ball pulled back, Watkins! When they needed him most, Ollie Watkins steps up to the stage.
Welcome to the run-in. I tell you what, that was a hard watch, but we got there in the end, and who would have thought 4 weeks ago that we'd be sat here today, a point behind West Brom with 2 games to go. We are breathing down their necks. And look, we didn't get to see Christian Norgard's celebration, but Emiliano had clearly been eating his ravioli, and Ollie is back of the scoring charts. I'm delighted to say, with us the whole way, the ambassador, Marcus Gale. How are you, mate?
Very well, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I think I'm all right. That was tough, wasn't it?
It was a tough ending. It was quite nervous to watch.
But just football's great, isn't it? Nothing gives you these feelings that we're getting at the moment.
Nah, it's brilliant stuff. Couldn't have asked for much more from the team. It's been a great performance again. Got there in the end.
We're just doing our job. We just got to keep at it. And look, it was so good to see Sergi back in the squad, and the fans' favourite caught up with me to discuss his favourite things, including how Leo Messi asked him for a photo. Not only that, 2 people that know all about a promotion push, the 2 Allens, Judge and McCormack, they spoke to Natalie Sawyer about this moment where Judgy scored the goal to send us up against Preston. That's a hell of a midfield sorted, and up front there's no better. Championship top scorer Ollie Watkins joining us here via Zoom. The boys are doing it on the pitch, Marcus. Finally, we're doing it off the pitch. Should we have a little watch back of last week again?
Let's have a little look.
On my feet and I've had a trim. Walk to the door, ID in hand. It's been too long, gonna spend a grand. When this is over, you know where we gonna go. Yeah, we're really going, yeah, we're really going to the pub, to the pub. Soon the bands will play. But for now a pie will do, especially if it's shared with you. We'll have a few. 'Cause when this is over, you know where we're gonna go. Yeah, we're really going, yeah, we're really going to the pub, to the pub.
Unbelievable again. Marcus, how are people meant to go about their normal day lives when we've got stuff like this going on? Because it's just taken over, isn't it?
It's so enjoyable though. For me, I can't wait for the Brentford fixtures to come out and sit back and enjoy the team play. It is difficult at times. As the games are counting down, the excitement's building up.
We sound like a broken record, but it's just another huge week. I messaged you after the game. I said, any thoughts? What do you want to talk about? And this is what you said. That was a tough second half, TBH. No questions, still recovering. Have you recovered?
Just about.
But it was the hardest watch so far, though, wasn't it?
Preston came out really strong second half, caused a lot of problems, but you know the boys dug in deep. Was very resolute at the back. You know, quite tight in the midfield. Didn't cause them too much problems going forward, but the job was done after 4 minutes with that well-taken goal by Ollie. I
was going to say, we started so well just like we did at Derby. This kind of football is us at our best, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just fast-flowing, great interchange of play, good off-the-ball movement by Emiliano here. Great little touchback, and this for me is the key. That little flick there. The run by Ollie, he's timed his run perfectly because he knows the defenders are watching the ball and they can't watch him and the ball at the same time. Yeah,
and look, this is Emiliano's record since the restart. You touched on there. 7 games, 5 assists, 1 goal. I mean, we said a few weeks ago about we could be seeing a Romain Sawyer's kind of turnaround from him. Is he one of the first names on the team sheet for you now?
Yeah, he's got to be. In this current form, since the restart as well, the stats don't lie. You know, he's been very influential. He's grabbed a great goal during that period as well. But, you know, it's his contribution. If he doesn't score, he's still making impact in the game.
And that pass, the weight of the ball as well is perfect. That Ollie doesn't need to break stride. And it's hard because they were defending with quite a compact, almost a 5 at times.
Yeah.
So
they made the spaces very difficult to get into and break down. But Emiliano, he's done a little bit of skill to sit the defender on his bottom. He's flicked it round the corner into space for Ollie just to, you know, he didn't have to even break stride. It was that good a pass. He didn't have to break the stride and get his goal.
What I'm going to say is Luka Racic, keep cooking those meals for him, mate. Another key moment was a David Raya save from Fisher, who, to be fair to him, he had a decent game, Fisher. This was an awkward one, I thought, from the setup because it's a central free kick.
It was a difficult one. It's got so much swerve and dip. It's going to cause any keeper problems, but Raya covered it so well. It's just one of the danger highlights that Preston posed.
And how pivotal a moment was that? We've seen so many times this season he has stepped up. One I can think of straight away is Puskás at Reading early in the season at home with the one-on-one. It would have been really tricky, wouldn't it, if we had conceded at this time, because it was just before half-time, and that mental thing of going in at the break in the lead was huge.
Yeah, it was huge. You know, in some respects, we probably scored a bit early in the game because it kind of just relaxed everybody, but it also gave Preston the opportunity to try and get back into the game. But, you know, the players held out well. The tactics looked to be as correct as possible to achieve that 1-0 victory. So, full credit to Thomas and the boys, but it was a tough second half to watch.
And get on this, have you ever seen a team man-mark a defensive midfielder like they did Norgard?
Well, I think it's a big compliment to what Norsgaard does in that midfield area. They can see him; he's the pivot of the side, and you know they locked him out of the game at times pretty well. But with that being said, you know other players have had to step in. You know, Pontus had to step in and drive forward the ball at times and try and use the ball because he had the extra space to do that. But you know the team done ever so well with overcoming that, and you know some really top performances that came out of it.
How tough is it when you're just being man-marked like that? It must have just, you know, as soon as you get the ball, bang.
It is frustrating. I've had it early in my years out on loan and I didn't know what to do by being man-marked, but Christian's more savvy. He's a bit older as well. And I think he did take that as a compliment, is that, yes, people are recognising his work that he does so well in our team and that he's a vital cog in what we do.
And then the biggest thing on the top of it, he goes and gets man of the match. It's like, go on then, have 2, 3 of you. Still get man in the match. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, he just shows that he's great at adapting to different situations at any given moment, and you know Thomas relies on him so much that you know he does get those sort of performances out of him to be the man of the match because you know he can be the unsung hero in this current team.
Yeah, look, it was 2 games this week. Obviously, Derby as well on the Saturday. Another great start. Another great team goal. Again, us at our best, really.
Yeah, you know we came out the blocks flying. Love the movement by Saeed here, touch and go, causes spaces to be created. And there we go, we've got Ollie there, doing his famous knee slide.
It went better at the Derby game than it did last night. It's just
Yeah, he did. What a great position for him to be in, just to tap that ball in, a typical number 9 goal.
That's it. It is that typical finish that we were talking about the other week, where he's getting into those areas. Another goal from inside the box. And look, it wasn't all straightforward. Thankfully, our mate Ben Hamer was still on furlough and he threw one in his net. He won't want to see it. But this did change the game again. This was a massive moment because after our goal, they'd come into it a bit, hadn't they? And this settled us just after half-time.
That can make or break any game. You know, the keeper's mistake like that. For Derby, it's going to break their spirit. Is that, you know, they could do all they want to do from the box up to the other end. But if the keeper can't control the ball like that, then they know they're in, you know, for a very tough day.
And look, again, yeah, maybe Said had a bit of luck on that one, but let's talk about this second one because he scored some special goals this year, but this is right up there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just typical Benrahma. Cuts in. He's always going to take 2 defenders with him. And if he beats that second defender, then he's through on goal. And with his right foot, the technique he's got in there, he's just curled his big right toe and the ball sailed straight in.
So those 2 games have set up this week that we talk about. Are you watching this as a player or have you got fan head on? Because is it hard to distinguish between the 2?
I've got about 3 heads there. Fan, player and a coach as well. It was tough, and it is. I think the last game we've had, it was a tough one in terms of the closing stages. I was getting quite nervous, and I don't really get quite nervous watching matches. I'm quite calm and cool.
Yeah. But is that because you can understand what the players are going through a bit, do you think?
Yeah, there's a lot of tension and emotion going through that, and it's about controlling those emotions in the closing stages so you don't make fundamental mistakes and let the other team back in.
So you're also, when you see Christian Norgard pick up that ball for a minute, you can feel how he probably feels. Because I was thinking, I'd brick it. Because it's not only the pressure of the occasion, but it's also that you've got 3 men up on you every time.
It's just knowing what to do at the right time and trying to execute that skill at that right moment. So that's why they're professionals. That's why they're unique athletes in that regard. We can all sit here and think of what to do at the right time, and we're all correct. But what separates the normal person from the professionals is that the professionals do it so much quicker. That speed of thought, that speed of action as well.
And look, we're not going to sit here and talk about permutations of Huddersfield could do this for us or QPR could do that for us, because also some of you might be watching this and it might be the end of the game in some of those fixtures. But no matter what does happen, it's just been an amazing effort from the lads, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been tremendous. I think this is probably our record amount of points in the Championship season. Got to look at it as a brilliant season, no matter what happens. But the story hasn't ended yet. We've still got a couple games to go, and who knows? In 180 minutes, where could we be?
And look, Saturday also saw the return of Sergi, the first time since his knee injury. You know, so that in itself, him getting back to fitness is an amazing achievement, and not just from Sergi, but also the staff around him. I was lucky enough to speak to him about his favourite things. And here's what he said.
I used to, and I support Valencia, and Brentford, obviously. We used to have a garage in front of our house back in Spain, where all the Valencia fans from my village, from my hometown, used to go there and watch the team. So I don't know, we kind of made like a big group in there supporting Valencia, and it was the years of Rafa Benitez. We won the UEFA Europa League. It was amazing.
And you obviously then went to play for Barcelona. Did you have the chance to join Valencia?
Yeah.
Wow, that must have been a hard decision.
Yeah, I said no.
How comes? Just because it's Barcelona?
With La Masia and how they showed us that how like education comes first, and the school was first, and if you were not doing good in school, you were not gonna play. So my parents thought, well, my mom especially, she she thought it was better to join Barca than Valencia.
Wow. What was the football side like there? Is it very technical, as I
Well,
imagine?
the football side is also, yeah, very technical, and they, from a very young age, they worry about small things like the pass, the touch, they don't worry about if you win or not. Like, they teach you what's the most important, and the most important in football are the small details. If you make a pass right or not, like if you make a pass in front of you, in front of the player, or he has to go backwards. I know it's too much, but it's small things that they worry so much, and that's sometimes I got that from there. David Villa.
And that's why you wear number 7, right?
Yeah. In Spain, it's, for me, is one of the best players ever. He used to play for Valencia when I was younger, and he was the main striker. He used to score a lot of goals, and I don't know, I really liked him. And also when I joined Barca, then he joined Barca, and he was, oh my God, like, and I met him a few times, and he was crazy. Yeah, he was great.
What did you say to him when you met him?
Well, I told him that he was my idol, you know, like, because they used to come to La Masia sometimes to eat, or for before the games or something. So we used to look at them from the window, you know.
Amazing. Did you have a photo with him or anything?
Yeah, I have a picture with him.
Oh, amazing. And you said that they came to watch. So was Messi was he a bit younger then, or?
No. We met him too. We met Messi, and he was crazy because we were taller than him when we were, I think we were 15 years old at that time, and he was smaller than us. My granddad used to look at the picture and that's not Messi. It's impossible. He's so little. But yeah, it's incredible. I'd say against Nottingham Forest at home, when I scored my first professional goal. Yeah, we scored at the 96th minute, I think. So I scored the first coming off the bench, and then Hoffman scored the second, and we won 2-1. We came back, and I had my family behind the goal, and I celebrated the goal with them. And yeah, I think that's my favorite. Griffin Park.
That's what I want to hear. Seriously though, how much will you miss it?
I will miss it, yeah. I miss the atmosphere this year, and I mean, I know it's been a great year, but I've not been playing, and I haven't really been in the stadium because I've been recovering. But yeah, I will miss it so much, because that's the stadium that opened the doors of my career, you know, and I think it has played a big part in my football.
I mean, it says a lot that you've said Griffin Park when you've obviously played at some pretty impressive places. So that's,
yeah, but Griffin Park has something that nobody has. Like, I've played in Anfield. Obviously, Anfield, it is a big stadium, and the atmosphere is amazing. But I don't know, Griffin Park is that English little stadium that everyone thinks about when you talk about English football outside of England, you know. When I'm in Spain and who do you play for? Brentford. Oh, do you have that type of stadiums that you can see because they've got a barrier? And I say, yes, that's our stadium. From my time in Barcelona, when we were kids, I had Fran Sanchez, and everybody knows him, but I have to thank him a lot from that time in Barcelona.
What was he so good at you?
The small things, he cared so much, and I was one of the favorites, I'd say. I can't say it now. Couldn't say it that time, but I was only 15 at that time, and thanks to him, I played with the under 18s or under 17s, I can't remember. And it was very difficult to be involved with all the people and all the, at that age, it is a big difference. And thanks to him, it made it look like nothing. And I improved so much that year.
And you, of course, have worked with Jurgen Klopp, who gave you your Premier League debut.
Yeah, of course, yeah, also.
I mean, what's it like working with him?
Yeah, well, he's no more of what you see in TV. Like, he's close to the players, like he's really intense in trainings, and that's why games is a mirror of what you do in trainings. And like the pressing and the work ethic that they've got, it's all because of in trainings. Klopp goes mad at them, and it's a real competitive atmosphere, you know, in Liverpool, and it's great.
Are there any similarities between him and Thomas? Because I imagine
a lot. Yeah. There are a lot of similarities because Klopp worked so much on pressing and repairing each other's mistakes, and that's what Thomas talks about all the time. And yeah, they are quite similar.
That's really interesting, because you'd think on the surface Thomas is quite calm, but
in training, oh my god, you should see Thomas in training.
Intense.
Intense, yeah. But that's how we are so good outside also, like in games, because he makes us be so much like focused. My friend Jota, I think for me, he was really good when I joined Brentford, and then when I rejoined Brentford, he was also there, and it was a pleasure to watch him play.
What do you think made him so special?
He had something that nobody had, you know, like, and it wasn't because he worked so much or because he tackled, or because it was something that you can't describe. You have it or not have it, you know. It's that shoot that you never expect, and it's a goal, and it's that pass that nobody sees. It was special.
And obviously, during your rehab, you spent obviously a lot of time with Nikos. How important was it having someone like him who was going through the same injury as you?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I don't want anyone get this injury, but it was nice to have him and come to rehab every morning and know that I'm gonna be with someone, and it's him, you know.
I imagine it really is hard being at training and seeing the lads on the grass, and you're doing your rehab. But how good were the boys with you? Would they come and see you? And
yeah, definitely, yeah. All the boys have been brilliant with me. They've been asking me every week, like when I was in Barcelona after the operation, I was in touch with David, with Joel, Josh, Pontus, also Thomas and Brian, and all the staff has been brilliant with me, and obviously the physios. I mean, I just have good words for everyone, because I don't know, nobody forgot me, you know. Like, sometimes you get injured and you feel a little bit outside, and they try to introduce me in everything, like, and then I'm so happy with them. Yeah, the atmosphere, I'd say.
Yeah,
I think the atmosphere especially when we are winning, obviously, it is something that it's amazing. It's my mom calls it like the run, like the, you know, like they don't stop, you know.
Yeah.
And it's great because you can hear it from inside the pitch.
And you're someone that obviously can spark a lot of that atmosphere. The crowd feed off you a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's what I like, because when I get the ball, I can hear the something, you know, like when you are cooking something. So I love that from the fans, because that gives me inspiration. It's when Said gets the ball, oh my God, you know something is going to happen. Ollie or Brian or Josh. So you know something is going to happen. So I really appreciate from the fans that trust, you know. Well, my favorite thing is that we all are so close, you know. I think it's a team that if you come from outside, it welcomes you so fast and you feel part of the team within 1 week or 2 weeks. And that is amazing, because sometimes you go to a club and you don't know, you see someone 6 months later that you should know and you don't know him. So I think in Brentford it's amazing that we are all one, you know, everyone, media, like Peter, Lorna, the staff, you know, I really like the compact.
Did you miss us when you were at Norwich?
Yeah, I did.
Marcus, great to hear how similar Thomas and Jurgen Klopp are there.
Yeah, it's refreshing. You know, one's a league winner, Champions League winner. So if you're described in that sort of manner, I think that's a positive in Thomas Frank as well, is that there's similarities, the work ethic, the mentality, the approach. I think that's a great thing for Brentford.
And the style of play, you could see it, especially on Wednesday. You could say, we pressed them, North End. Having that?
Yeah, I've seen what you've done just there. That's not too bad for you, you know.
Is that all right?
That's all right, yeah.
But we do play a high pressing game like Liverpool, don't we?
Yeah, I think the first line of defence is up front. And you can see that with the way the front three, between them, they close down that back four. And that is the start of any successful side, is that you start defending from up top.
I'm so sorry that I said press them, North End. It's so embarrassing. Anyway, look, who's the most intense manager you worked under?
It'd have to be Gianluca Vialli.
Really?
At my time at Watford, yeah.
In what way? Just again, like
just
training?
Intense with the work rate, the detail. Even the day before a game was quite physical, of an impact on us. We trained for quite a while. It wasn't like a light session going into matches.
Is it normally not just shape work on a Friday?
I was normally used to that,
yeah.
But under Vialli it weren't. It was like full-scale training.
Wow. And Sergi said that he obviously met David Villa, his hero, and also Leo Messi. Yeah. Who's the best player that you've ever met?
I did get a cheeky picture back in 2014 with Roberto Carlos out in Dubai.
Oh, so you hadn't played against him, just on holiday?
Just on holiday. I spotted him. We was on a water slide, and I said, "That's Roberto Carlos." And I was told, "No, it ain't." And I went, "Watch this." So I gave him a little spud. I went, "Oh, Roberto." And I went, and that was it. I got my picture.
Did he go on the slide as well?
He went on the slide, yeah. Definite.
Did he have armbands on?
No, I didn't look at him that way. No.
And what about anyone that you've played with? Or against?
My Jamaican debut back in 1998 was against Brazil. So that up front they had Romario and Edmundo. Wow. That was a strike force, which was amazing to watch.
Did you get any of the shirts?
No, we drew 0-0, so they didn't want to swap any shirts.
Wow, that is tight. And look, but how big a lift, back to Sergi, will it be, just his presence? It's going to be a big ask for him to get minutes,
yeah,
because obviously he hasn't been able to play in any B team fixture or anything. But just him being about the place, can that just lift the squad?
Yeah, I think that's his character. He's full of energy, not just to his teammates, but to the fans. Obviously the fans are not in the stadium, but the impact he's going to have on games with his pace, his energy, and also at the start of the season, he was assisting quite a lot of goals for Ollie in the first parts of the season. So I think Ollie will be happy that he's back in the squad, and if he does get on, you never know, Ollie could add to his goal tally.
Well, that's it. And look, they are two big games, as we keep saying. We're not going to go into all the other permutations like we say, but so let's look at the fixtures individually. Stoke first. Could be dangerous, as they might need the points still. Yeah,
I think we've got far too much quality to go in and not look to win that match. I think our quality will be far superior, but we still have to have that strong mentality of let's just get the game done as soon as we can, and then keep up, our professionalism as high as possible. So tricky game, but we should overcome that.
And then Barnsley, following that, I mean, the fixtures haven't been kind to them. There's every chance they could be relegated by the time we play them. On paper, though, is that then helpful for us or not? We saw Reading, they're already on the daiquiris and on the beaches, do you know what I mean? So is it a boost, or is it they're playing without, like, again, we don't know. How do you see it?
I just think we can't be bothered about wondering what other clubs are doing, other teams are performing like. Just focus on ourselves, get our part of the job done, and leave it to the rest for their own downfall if it is.
And look, people keep saying it's in West Brom's hands, and yes, it is, but it's also in our hands, because if we win every game, if it goes to the extended season, we still get promoted, don't we? So it is, in theory, still in our hands, promotion. Well,
we can only control the controllables. We're winning all the matches at this moment, and hopefully that does continue. It sounds funny. It's still a long way to go in terms of waiting for the matches to come. Because I want the game thick and fast.
Would the players be like that as well? Or they just want the next one?
I think they would. I think in a winning side, you just want to keep playing. You don't feel tired.
I think if we do 10 in a row, you should get like a bonus point. Do you know what I mean? If you've done 10 in a row, just give it EFL. Sort us out of a bonus point. No one does that. That is unbelievable achievement. But can you remember how you felt with 2 to go when you did it?
It's that same old cliche. You look at the games, you just got to pick them off one by one. You're looking forward to them. The tension does build up as the games become less. But the focus has to be on the end goal. Try and win your games and get yourself up.
Well, 2 people that did manage to go up with Brentford were Alan Judge and Alan McCormack. They had a little chat with Natalie Sawyer to discuss that Preston game at Griffin Park.
So soon we're going to be bidding farewell to Griffin Park, a home that has made so many amazing memories. And one day I'm sure that is particularly fond for Brentford fans is when we go back to Good Friday of 2014, the day we won promotion to the Championship against Preston. And who better to talk to us about it than 2 of our stars of the squad from that day. Now, first of all, I have to just pick up on the fact we've got 2 Allens. So I don't know which bright spark came up with the fact that we've got 2 Allens on this. So is it all right if I go with Macca and Judgy for this one?
Yeah, all good.
Of course.
Before we kind of get stuck into everything that happened on the day, we kind of need to remind everyone of the situation that we found ourselves in. We were second, knowing we had to win, but also rely on Leyton Orient losing at Crawley, and that Rotherham would fail to win at Wolves for us to be promoted that day. Hugely important game for us, especially with Preston themselves pushing for promotion. They were 5th and they knew that a win would leave them 5 points off automatic with 3 games to go. So building up to the game, Judgy, was there talk of promotion on the training ground that week?
What I can remember, not necessarily, no, because I think there was too many things that would have had to gone our way to get us promoted, and we thought the teams were all in good form at the time. So, and I think at the time Mark was always just saying take each game as it comes. So it was literally just on to the next one. And I don't know about Mark, but myself, promotion wasn't on the cards that weekend anyway. I knew we were close, but it wasn't on my mind that weekend.
I suppose for many, they would have thought the same, even Brentford fans, because you're relying on other results to go our way as well. So, Macca, were you the same as Judgy?
Yeah, I think that week we knew it could happen, but we knew also if everyone kept up their performances, which everyone was kind of winning leading up to that weekend, and we knew we still had 3 games after that it could potentially happen. So it wasn't make or break weekend. Brilliant if it happened. But if it didn't happen that weekend, we knew we were just getting closer and closer. We were still playing fantastic football that season. It's up there with some of the best I've played in.
Mark Warburton, what was he like pre-match? Can you remember how he was? Was he different in any way, or was he just the same?
Mark was brilliant. He was, we'd done everything the same that week, and training was always the same, and he just keeps things normal. He doesn't say too much before the game until the 5-minute bell warning goes off, and then he'll say, well, it's all about us really, and it's all about how we get on the front foot, how we get it into our dangerous players like Judgy, making sure that we just know our basics and do our basics right, and that's what Mark was brilliant at, with our basics, and that team was superb, and that was it.
Just before kick-off, you're coming out onto the pitch. Judgy, could you feel there was a different atmosphere from the fans?
Yeah, it was I think the fans knew it was close. I think they were a bit nervous with what happened the year before, so they were probably just wanting us to get over the line. And you know, I don't think we could have wished for a better start, really. I think we started off on top. I think I remember myself having a few shots, and then we got that questionable penalty that George got.
Well, I was going to ask this. Okay, so you think it was a questionable penalty?
Typical George Savile, I would just say.
Long dangly legs.
So questions over that penalty from Judgy. Macca, surely a clear pen for you.
100% referees are never wrong, are they? They're always right, so every credit to the ref for being brave enough to give that. I just think George, the way George plays, he's even in the 5-side games in training, he's got them long legs that just get there just before, and I think the trailing leg, he catches the trailing leg, which starts the movement down, and then the sort of second one sends him down fully. And sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't, but the day was meant for us, and thankfully we got that decision.
So while everything's going on with the Preston players, I suppose for you, Judgy, it's time to compose yourself. But at what point did you know you were taking the penalty?
More or less straight away. While I was playing for the referee, I was having coins thrown at me from the Preston fans. I knew what I was going to do. I knew I was just going to hit it and just see where it goes. I know that mightn't give some confidence to some people, but I just knew I was going to put my foot through it as hard as I could, and luckily I went right down the middle.
What is going through your mind, or is anything going through your mind?
To be honest, at that time, because I didn't think of the promotion on that day, that we could have been promoted. It was just, you know, just make sure this goes in, get us going. And because I thought once we got 1-0 up, or if we did, we'd beat them, no problem.
What were you doing at that time, Macca?
Probably arguing with myself on the halfway line. I'm halfway line.
Are you
I just remember I was watching it, but kind of half not wanting to watch it, half watching it, but then just before he strikes it, you have that quick glance because you don't want to miss it either. You want to remember that. So I just remember it going in, and I don't think I celebrated too much because there was still a long way to go in the game and anything can happen. And I just remember thinking, well, we've gone one up here. We don't concede many goals. We're very strong defensively, and we're excellent going forward. So just let's not get too excited. But the atmosphere that day was just electric, especially after the first goal went in. I still remember it to this day. It was just absolutely hot for a small ground and 10,000 people, but it made some noise that day, and that was the beauty of this stadium.
So it's 1-0 that we lead at the break. You're going into the dressing room. With regards to the other results that mattered, it's 1-1 between Crawley and Leyton Orient. Wolves are 3-1 up against Rotherham. Are you at all, Judgy, being updated on this? Are you told at half-time what's going on, or does that not happen in the dressing room?
It's not supposed to happen, but you find out, and especially on that day, I think we were finding out. I know Slady would have been in the back, pointing at us, telling us what was going on. So, going in that game, when we got to half-time, if I remember correctly, we were in complete control. So we were just kind of probably just saying the same again, keep it going, keep it tight at the back. As Marcus said, we had a good defence then, and we didn't give away many goals, and we always felt like we could score more. So it was about just probably just keep doing what we're doing, and being professional, and going out and giving another good second half.
Macca, what about you? What are your memories of the game?
I remember the Judgy's penalty, and in the second half we had that chance then from Judgy's second one, but close towards the end of the game, I remember it was about 91 minutes, and there was 3 or 4 minutes to be played, and I remember going to take a throw in and turning to one of the fans asking what's the score in the other game, and he said Wolves are winning. I think Orient might have been beaten, or their game was finished, and drew one each or something like that. And I remember then thinking, oh, it's ready to happen. It's ready to happen. So I remember that the most. I remember trying to take as long as I could to take a throw in. I wasn't running to get the ball at any time quickly.
Going back though, you mentioned that second penalty. Now, I do not remember this second penalty. I just do not remember it at all. And I actually know that one of your former teammates, Mr. Jonathan Douglas, he doesn't remember it at all. When I said to him, do you remember that Judgy missed the penalty? He's like, no, I do not remember that happening at all. What were you thinking when that happened, that penalty, that miss? Were you devastated, or were you just, again, no, business as usual, just focus on what's coming next in the next few minutes of the game?
I remember it was Clayton got taken down. Yeah. Obviously, you don't forget if you're the one taking the penalty. So I just went up to take, and I think because it was in the end where what happened the year before, and I was thinking, what a way to finish this if I scored this, and the way for it to finish, because as Macca said, I could hear in the crowd that everything was going their way at that time, and the game was nearly over. So I just ran up and I took it, and I did send the keeper the wrong way, but it's hit my left foot and it's gone over, and I'm just lying on the floor thinking, oh no. So I was panicking for the next, whatever, 4 or 5 minutes, just thinking, please God, no.
The final whistle comes and cue the fans running onto the pitch. What is it like to be faced by 4 walls of fans coming at you, Macca?
It's a lot easier when they're your fans, I can tell you that. It's not so good when it's the opposition fans, but yeah, it was just like, you didn't know who to turn and look. I was trying to look for the lads, and I think I caught Stewie and maybe George in the middle of the pitch and got to them. Next thing we knew, we were on top of people's shoulders and just looking around. You could just spot 1 or 2 players up in the shoulders, and just that relief of we've done it. Well, we thought we'd done it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we eventually managed to get to the tunnel, and somebody whispered in the ear, it's not over at Molineux, and it was 4-3, but we were like, where's that come from? It was a few minutes before, it was 3-1, and Rotherham had nicked a couple of goals back to get 3-3 and then 4-3, and it was like, it ain't over yet. Rotherham are back in the game, and I was like, oh my God, walked into the dressing room to find everyone around the TV, like, really nervous. And then they've called out, I think it was Jeff Stelling's call out, there's been a goal at Molineux, and you could have heard a pin drop in the dressing room. It just went instantly silent, and the next thing is goal to Wolves and cue the celebrations again. It was like a double promotion. We got promoted to come back in, and then we told it, well, technically not yet, to then have the referee blow the final whistle. So yeah, it was surreal. You couldn't have read it any better. It was so surreal.
So tell us then about the celebrations in the dressing room. We've seen some of the iconic images, the champagne everywhere. What was it like in that dressing room, Georgie? Because that was your first promotion.
Yeah, it was. I remember coming in the change room after we thought we were promoted, standing there waiting, then realising the game wasn't still over. So like, that seemed to take an age. So after that had happened, it went ballistic in the dressing room. Just obviously, as I said, you had drink going everywhere, lads going mental. Our families were there. I think that's one of the most important things, that our families were there. And I couldn't have wished to do with a better bunch of lads, to be honest with you. And I remember, and I know Macca knows, I have a picture of me, Macca, and our 2 daughters holding the cup. And I still have that picture down in my house.
Oh,
it was a blur, the whole thing after that.
I can well imagine. We'll get onto that in just a moment. But Macca, just give us a feeling of what the group was like then. It did seem like a very tight-knit team. The
group was such a good group that I don't think we ever had a person step out of line. There was the occasional late person, myself maybe late, I could get the training, but I was never late for anything that was wrong, or nobody ever acted out in training and got sent off the training pitch. It was an extremely close group. If we ever had a team bonding session, every player was there, and that is rare. So to have that group do that for the whole year, and then to finish it off together, the way we did was just superb. We were a very, very close group, and we still have a group chat now. There's 6-7 of us in the group chat still. If we see any other players, like I see Clayton a little bit through the leagues and that. I think for everyone that was involved, judges say the same. It was to finish it on that day, still with 3 games to go. It was just amazing, and the celebrations after it was just to see that the pub packed the way it was. All the staff members there, players, all the family, the children. Well, you couldn't run around because it was absolutely mobbed with players in pulling points and singing songs for the fans and singing with them. It was a hell of a day, hell of an evening.
Well, it's been an absolute joy taking a trip down memory lane with you both. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Thanks, Emil. Cheers.
What an unbelievable day at Griffin Park that was. And look, I know Wednesday could potentially be our last game at Griffin Park, and a lot of you might be thinking, why haven't we been focusing enough on that? I can assure you that we will be dedicating a significant amount of time to our home. At the moment, it just didn't feel right fitting it into the show as we are with the current situation, but I can assure you there will be time that we will be dedicating to the place that we all call home. And look, that was an amazing day. what I came from as well, I didn't remember that judge penalty that Natalie was talking about either. I had no recollection of it. Marcus, they talked about the celebrations that day. Talk to you about the celebrations the day you went up in '92.
Oh, wow. I can remember straight after the game and coming back on the coach. It was party mood, obviously, and then coming back outside Griffin Park Stadium and seeing all the fans there. I can only remember a couple of hours, to be honest. I've got my two best mates. They came over, and yeah, I can't remember too much after that once they turned up.
And how long did they go on for, those celebrations?
I said I can't remember, but it went on into the night. But what a tremendous achievement it was way back then, and just unfortunately we couldn't stay up the following year to really cement it.
Well, look, one man will be hoping it's another celebration this year is Ollie Watkins. He's hit the quarter of a century of goals for the season, and I'm delighted to say he's with us now. How's it going, Ollie, mate?
All good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, we're all good. Very, very happy and very excited about the next week or so. Look, it's Thursday today because we pre-record this. How are you feeling? Because you put some yards in last night, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit tired today, to be fair. We had a recovery session this morning, so I've just chilled out this afternoon, but it was definitely a graft last night. I think around about 11k. So, but it was all worth it. It's all worth it. We won, and we're getting closer, so take that.
So, Ollie, was that our toughest test so far of this restart?
It was definitely up there. You know, I think Charlton tested us a lot. You know, when they scored early on and played 5 at the back at home, it's difficult to break down. So it was definitely up there, but I felt like we coped with the pressure well in the end.
And you talk about that pressure then, where obviously you're playing up front. Is it really hard for you not to just get sucked in and want to just, because you kind of have got to watch a lot of it and then just chase people down? It must be hard to stay disciplined to not get involved. Yeah,
sometimes I feel like just standing up there, crossing my arms and watching it all go past me. But you know, I know I've got to help the team at the end of the day. Sometimes I've got to put pressure on the keeper and the centre backs, and when I'm doing that, I know the ball forward is not going to be as high quality as if they've got time on it. So, you know, I've got to do the dirty work as well as try and create things for the team.
Well, it was a brilliant goal, by the way. Just talk me through what led up to that goal.
Yeah, I think Saeed's got it wide. He's played it over to Emmy, and I felt like I had to make a movement because I saw Brian go to feet, so I did the opposite movement and going behind, and he played me, and I've just kind of hit it, just trying to make contact with the ball as quick as possible and get it on target, and yeah, luckily it's gone in.
And it's taken you back to top of the goal scoring charts. I know everyone keeps going on to you about this, and I've seen some people go, what would you rather, Brentford win promotion or get top of the charts? Does my head in. Surely you can just do both. But does it influence your performance at all? Is it in the back of your mind?
You know what? No, not really. If Mitrovic hasn't scored for 8 games, or say it was Lewis Graben or anyone like that, it doesn't affect me. My job is to go out there and help the team and try and score. So whether he scored 4 goals, I always want to score. I'm never really content. So I don't put pressure on myself and try and stay neck and neck with him. I just got to go out and do my thing, really.
And you're on 48 now for the club. Did you know that?
48 for the club, am I?
Yeah, 48 goals for the club.
That's not bad.
So 2 more and you get the half century. You got anything planned? Because I know you love the knee slide celebration.
Oh, mate. Well, I've got a little story here. So I've obviously scored the other night and done a knee slide. The pitch is not wet. If you look at my celebration, I've gone boom. My knees are cut up now. I've been walking around Richmond like an old man.
So is Thomas going to ban it?
Yeah, the knee slide's getting stopped.
Amazing. Go on, Marcus.
It's 8 wins in a row, conceding just 2. Have you ever been involved in a run like this?
No, not where I'm going into every game feeling like we can beat any team. I feel like when you win 2 or 3 on the bounce, there's a bit of confidence within the team and stuff like that. But we go into every game now knowing, even on an off day, if we just work hard and run more than the opposition, then we're going to win. So there's definitely a lot of confidence around the boys, and I've not been involved in anything like this, and I think it makes you hungry, really. It just seems a shame that it's a little bit late in the season that we've done it.
Yeah. And you touched on it there a little bit. What about from an individual point of view? How does it feel when you're stepping on that pitch at the moment? Are you just feeling like anything you touch is probably going to get in the back of the net?
Not really. I don't know. I just go out there and just think if I work hard, I'm going to get chances. It's just down to me to take them. So I've got the same mindset from now till the first game of the season or whenever. It's always been work hard and try and stay in the box and you'll get chances. So I think it's down to me, but I definitely feel confident going into these games.
Yeah.
Are you learning more about yourself as a group with each game? And if you are, what could that be?
Yeah, I just feel like each game there's always going to be some sort of little test, but yesterday we all dug in. We had a young lad, Jan, come on, and he always puts himself about. So I think there's always new stuff to learn, and yeah, I think we surprise ourselves each game that goes past, really.
Thomas calls you the beast. Does he say that to you?
Yeah, he says to me, "You're a beast, you're a machine," stuff like that. But it's just because I just keep running, really. I want to win so bad, so I just try and keep running and help the team. So yeah, I think that's why I haven't really come off many games this year, because without sounding big-headed, I think my fitness levels are at the top of what they can be, and I think it's shown in the game. So he leaves me on, and I just keep running.
I was chatting to Sergi in the week, and he likened Thomas to Jurgen Klopp. Can you see that?
Yeah, I feel like they've both got similar sort of mindsets. Obviously, I don't know Klopp, but from an outside perspective, they're good man managers. It always gives us positive vibes and makes us feel confident and allows us to express ourselves on the pitch. So I can definitely see the similarity that Sergi means.
So has Thomas been personally good for you as a coach?
Yeah, unbelievable. Dean Smith was unbelievable as well, but I feel like Thomas is, I don't know, he's brought a different side out to me, and he understands me, and he's helped me improve so much. He's allowed me to go out and express myself and not really tell me what to do too much. Just tells me to work hard.
And this is the first time we've spoken to you since you took to Instagram showing your support for the Black Lives Matter movement. How important is it to use your profile to try and advance such causes?
I think it's massive, really. Obviously, a lot of fans and stuff follow footballers on Instagram, and we're kind of role models to a younger generation. So I definitely feel like people will listen, when they look up to you, or if you have a platform like that. So it's something I wanted to speak out on, and if anyone saw it, the Brentford fans saying they didn't get why some things were being said and people were kneeling, I just felt like I had to express myself, and I'm grateful that the club backed me on the statement that I put out.
That's good. As a young black athlete yourself, have you ever encountered racism in a football environment, be it from the stands or amongst the players themselves?
I can remember on my debut, Hartlepool away, I'd just come on the pitch, young, skinny, nervous wreck, and just about to receive a throw-in or something like that, and one of the Hartlepool fans shouted at me a racist remark. But I was kind of baffled because they had 4 or 5 black players on their team, so I didn't really get it at that point. So I just kind of blanked it out, and that was it. But it always stays in my mind that how fans can be so fickle, you know, because I'm sure if one of the black players had scored that game, they would be saying, "Oh, I love you," stuff like that. So I never really got how it worked.
Yeah, and look, do you pay much attention to social media as well? Because obviously you're pretty active on Twitter and Instagram, like we've said already, and there's been some amazing moments we've seen from you on it with Woody and things like that we've seen, but it can also be quite a toxic place.
Yeah. Look, there's always going to be stuff said about you, good and bad, you know. Even Ronaldo, he'll get thousands of comments saying Messi's better if he scored a hat-trick after a game. So you can never please everyone, and I think this year I've definitely realised that. So I just try and stay in my lane, focus on things that are going to help me, and just block out any negative things I've received. To be fair, this year I haven't received as much because I've been scoring a lot. But, you know, the previous years I have, and you've just got to kind of get on with it, really.
Yeah. All EFL players have been taking the knee ahead of kick-off since the season's resumption. Has this been a topic of discussion in the changing room? It's great to see that football is so united in the support of the movement. Yeah,
it's unbelievable, you know. We haven't really talked about it too much. The players have just got on with it. I'm sure if anyone had a problem, they would say about it. But you know, I haven't seen anyone that has said no. I'm not taking the knee, and you know, I'm pleased all my teammates have done that. So no, we haven't talked about it much. I think everyone's just got on with it.
You talk about that because obviously this big Be Together campaign from the club, and it does seem like there is a real unity throughout the whole club as a structure, and the squad, it seems like such a harmonious and positive squad at the moment.
Yeah, we've got such a great balance of young, old, a few foreign boys, but you know, everyone clicks. It's such a great environment, literally from the security guards when you come in the training ground to the press officers, and everyone around the training ground is unbelievable, and the team is just kind of the icing on the cake, really. So I'm buzzing to be a part of it, really. And
you're talking about that togetherness as a squad. Will you all be watching West Brom Huddersfield tomorrow night?
Yeah, well, we're travelling up and staying overnight, so we've got Sky on the coach, so I think it'll be hard not to.
Have you been watching all the games?
There's a few I haven't, you know. There's a couple I haven't. I've tried to just maybe catch up on the Sky Sports app, but the ones that I have, they haven't really gone our way.
Yeah, well, I can't watch them. I cannot. The other day, at the weekend, I had to go out for a run during the West Brom Blackburn game because I was like, no chance can I handle this.
Yeah, I don't know how Blackburn didn't score either.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? At the end, any danger?
Nightmare.
Well, look, fingers crossed, mate. It's a big week, and I've alluded to it earlier in the show, but we're all so proud of what you boys are doing at the moment. It's unbelievable to watch, and yeah, big thank you because you're making us proud.
Thank you, mate.
Marcus, he's just brilliant. I absolutely love him. He's performing on the pitch, and also he's such a role model, especially when we're talking about things like Be Together, and the work he does is unbelievable stuff that we've seen with Woody, and he's just a credit to the club, isn't he?
Yeah, he shows great humility in what he does. He takes good pride on the pitch and off the pitch as well. So we're very lucky to have him as an individual that can speak so well about the club and about himself and where he wants to be.
And you said that humility as well, and on the pitch he shows it when he's talking about how he's not focusing too much on this goal scoring chart. He just wants to make sure the team are performing well, and he's putting the team first. We saw that with Josh Da Silva, and it seems that we've got a great bunch in that regard.
I think that the team ethic is key to everything that we're trying to achieve this year. Every player has mentioned team before any other word like I or me, and I think that's the most important message that comes out of the club, the current state of the team.
Saying that, is he going to get that 50th before the end of the season, and is he going to win the goal scoring?
Yeah, I think he will do. I think he's got that rich vein of form. He's scoring all types of goals. He's got that bit between his teeth, and I think he'll do it.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Well, look, last week we asked you who you thought Ethan Pinnock said was the most intelligent player in the squad. He definitely was having himself. Let's see who he said.
Who's the most intelligent player in the squad?
I'm up there. I don't know. It's a tough one, to be fair. I'm going to go with Chris.
Christian Norgard then, so not only intelligent on the pitch but also of it. He really wanted to say himself there, Ethan, didn't he? And to be fair, he's probably up there.
He's got to be.
Anyway, look, Marcus has got all the correct entries in the bowl. A few more this week, thankfully.
Yeah.
So do the honours, and obviously we will be getting that special prize to whoever does win, and we have got all the others on record, and we will be getting them to you when we can. Anyway, Marcus, do the honours for us.
Right, here we go.
Is it going to be?
Oh, got one here. Minto's Mob.
Minto's Mob. I assume that is your Twitter handle and not your name. It could be your name. Anyway, we will be getting in contact with you soon. And those of you that weren't fortunate enough to win this week, don't worry. We've got another one. This time, Saeed Benrahma. We asked him who he thought out of his teammates would make the best manager.
Which player would make the best manager in the team?
Me.
So who do you think Saeed says would make the best manager out of his teammates? I'm surprised he went for himself. I didn't think he'd be into management after football.
You never know.
Who knows? Who knows? Well, tell us who you think, and Marcus will hopefully be picking your name out of the bowl next week. Get in touch, all the normal channels, and we'll also, as always, be putting up the post in the week so you can reply to that. Now, it could be the last game ever at Griffin Park, and there is a special souvenir programme to celebrate the occasion. It's 136 pages, A4, and it's £10. You can get it on the Curtis Sport website. Now, I don't know if Thomas, his staff and the players will be watching this, or if they do watch it, if they get all the way to the end to this bit. But I just want to say a massive thank you. We've had some unbelievable seasons as Brentford fans, and this one has been right up there. The way you've carried yourselves on and off the pitch this year and entertained us every week has been absolutely first class. No matter what happens in the next week or so, you've done all of us really proud, and just go out there, write yourselves in the history books, boys, because it's where you deserve to be. You Reds!